Episode 4 of Kaiju number 8 freaking blew me away. Kafka is the GOAT. In this episode, we got the action, we got the emotion, we even got the introduction of the main villain for the season. In my last video, I was wondering where all of the action was gonna come in, and Production IG was like, hold my beer, and decided to drop the best episode of Kaiju number 8 yet. The episode picks up with Kafka telling everyone that he isn't gonna give up, and this man's leg is in shambles after that Kaiju attack. Ichikawa tells Kafka that he'll support him, and I'm over here thinking, is this support or slavery? Bro is literally carrying this man on his back. This is the true definition of friendship right here. As the second exam continues, Kikuru is speed running through the exam, tearing through all of the Kaiju by herself. She is such a freaking badass, man. She made that look so effortless, and she was showing the rest of the recruits that they aren't on her level. She manages to take out the Honju, and with that, the second exam is over. Kikuru is so talented that she essentially carried the entire squad on her back, and because of her, there were no serious injuries, other than Kafka of course. But that was easy, too easy. This is only 6 minutes into the episode, and just as Kikuru goes back to laugh at Kafka again, a mysterious Kaiju appears behind her and shoots her in the chest. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is Kaiju number 9, and this thing is a problem. Not only can it talk, but this thing has the ability to revive dead Kaiju and make them stronger. And bro, I know it isn't just me, this thing kind of reminded me of when the Beast Titan showed up for the first time. This scene had similar vibes to that, and they even have similar power sets too. In my last video, I mentioned how each of these humanoid Kaiju will probably have different powers, and fam, if that's the case, that will make for very interesting and creative fights in the future for this series. This thing was able to severely injure Kikuru, and this isn't something like shooting through a bulletproof vest or something. Kaiju number 9's attacks are able to pierce through the Kaiju muscle tissue, which is what the suits are made out of. And what makes this even more serious is that Kikuru has a 46% unleashed combat power, meaning her durability should be higher than the rest of her comrades. This girl got completely fucked up by that Kaiju, and she still insists on fighting and stopping the Honju before it hurts anyone else. We then get a flashback to Kikuru's life, and we learn that she's from a prestigious defense force family. For her entire life, her father drilled into her the need to be perfect at all times without fault. And listen, I knew Kikuru stood on business, but it looks like standing on business runs in the family. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, yeah. At first, I started to hate Kikuru's character, but now I understand that she's just a tsundere. Kikuru's character is way more layered than meets the eye. She's a character who's not only striving to become stronger, but she has a need to prove herself. Her mother passed away, and that event created a deep insecurity within her. But really, all she wants is her father's approval. Kikuru is actually a very noble and selfless character, because when the attack happened, she wasn't even thinking about herself. She was willing to put others first, even if it's at the cost of her own life. I got to respect that. The Kaiju punches her out of her flashback, and it prepares to finish her off. And man, this scene of her just giving up was so good, I started getting goosebumps. She wasn't even afraid to die. She was just sad that she lost, that she disappointed her dad. Just when the Kaiju launches his attack, Kafka comes through right on time and deflects that shit, and he transforms in front of her, revealing himself as a Kaiju. And bro, Kafka is the king of having badass entrances. Kikuru is confused as fuck as to what she just saw, and you would expect there to be some sort of serious discussion about him being a Kaiju, but this man just begs her to keep this a secret. And I swear, this show never ceases to amaze me with its comedic timing. So the Kaiju attacks again, and Kafka backhands the attack. Bro starts charging up his fists, and Kafka turns into the one-punch Kaiju. He stands his ground, and this man's arm turns into a freaking rocket and punches the Kaiju. And that punch was so raw that the Kaiju's body started disintegrating. That is just mad. They mentioned how his fortitude level is 9.8, which makes him the strongest Kaiju ever, at least that we know of so far. Kafka has only been a Kaiju for a few months, and his power level is off the charts. I can't imagine what other powers he has in the tuck. After defeating the Kaiju, Kafka and Ichikawa rescue Kikuru, and Mina and Hoshino examine the area, and Hoshino thinks that Kaiju number 8 might be connected to this. As Kikuru is recovering, Hoshino comes to see how she's doing, and he asks her if she took down that Kaiju. And Kikuru, being the real one she is, takes credit to keep Kafka's secret safe. Later that day, Kaiju number 9 shapeshifts into someone from the monster cleanup crew, and it looks like this thing was part of the crew for a long time, meaning that it probably knew that Kafka and Ichikawa were taking the exam. After some time has passed, Kafka and Ichikawa get their examination results. The induction begins, and pretty much all of the candidates have passed. Mina enters the room to begin the ceremony, and look who showed up late to the party. Kafka passed the exam and is now a cadet, but you're probably asking how. Was it because of some innate talent or skill? He was basically passed by Hoshina as a joke just to see how far he can go. It goes further than that because when Kafka transformed to save Kikaru, the vitals on his suit went offline, which coincidentally was when a kaiju with a 9.8 fortitude level appeared. He's beginning to put things together and is starting to become suspicious of Kafka. Kafka tells Kikaru about how he became a kaiju and he asks her if he should just tell the defense force to see if they could cure him, but Kikaru tells him that if he does that, they'll either kill him or turn him into a weapon. The body parts of kaiju with a higher fortitude level are used as weapons. This is literally kaiju on kaiju violence. It's actually pretty sick when you think about that, because that would mean that each weapon would have a different power depending on the kaiju that's being used. That would make the defense force more versatile, but the higher ups are probably keeping these weapons for themselves. Let's keep it real. Imagine someone having 100% combat power and a kaiju weapon. Shit, at that point you don't even need an army, you are the army. Kikaru tells Kafka that she'll keep his secret, but warns him that if he becomes an enemy of humanity, she'll eliminate him. And she was too confident saying that, you know, because she barely survived her last encounter with Kaiju number 9, and she really thinks that she can stop this man. Bro, don't make me laugh. For all we know, that Kaiju that went inside him might want to take over the world or something. Right now, he seems to be in control, but fam, one day that thing could take control of his body and just kill all of them. Like, quit playing. The cadets are training, and Ichikawa's power level has increased to 18%. Kikaru keeps dunking on these suckers as her power level has increased to 55%. But Kafka really surprised me in this episode. He had the biggest power increase by far. Man went from a 0.01% to a 1%. Hey listen bro, that's a 100% power increase. Don't laugh, progress is still progress. All of the cadets are bonding, forming rivalries, and they're all simping over Mina. Turns out that Mina's like the all might of this universe that everyone looks up to and admires. She's the reason why pretty much most of the cadets are in the defense force in the first place, because they want to reach her level and maybe even try to couple up with her, because who wouldn't? Kafka's got some real competition right now. His toughest opponent aren't even the kaiju at this point, it's actually Hoshina, because he is trying to do everything in his power to make sure that he fails. He doesn't want his place as vice captain to be taken, especially by someone like Kafka. The episode ends with the alarm bells going off as their first mission begins. And guys, these 2 episodes were good. Obviously the 4th episode was better than the 5th episode, but now that Hoshina is on Kafka's neck, it makes things very interesting to see how he's gonna move now, since the pressure is on him to perform or risk getting fired. Kaiju number 9 was pretty cool. His design was so creepy, and man, I want to see more of that kaiju. That kaiju got some sick powers. Thank you to everyone who took out the time to watch this video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the anime. Also check out the links in the description for some anime figures that you might want to cop. And until next week, stay blessed.